Thinking more strategically is pretty straightforward. Mostly, what you're trying to do is to build the habit. As with any habit, the key is repetition. The more you do something, the easier it gets to perform the activity until you're doing it without thinking about it. In the same way, eventually, strategic thinking will become automatic, so you'll apply it to every issue in your life, making everything run more smoothly. Before we continue, we would appreciate you taking a moment to like and subscribe to our channel. This video is the last of our Strategic Thinking 3-part series. To begin with, start small. Pick out some tips to put into practice, adding others over time as it gets easier. When it comes to strategic thinking, you need to think ahead. Ask yourself, would you rather react or be proactive? Here's where taking the initiative throws you toward your destination faster than you could ever think possible, no matter the goal or project. Prepare to have your mind changed. Strategic thinkers already know they don't understand everything. To make better use of your skills and to also have the ability to make better decisions, you have to be ready to challenge what you think you know. Strategic thinkers always open their minds to things. A strategic thinker asks how they can do something better. This is because it's essential to be adaptable and ready to change the plan. By looking for ways to optimize the situation, you're constantly searching for a better way, which is how you find breakthroughs. How can you think strategically if you don't know all the options? Strategic thinkers keep up with what's happening in their world, whether taking courses at the community college, reading trade journals, or following blogs or podcasts. This tip works well for many areas, but specifically with parenting. For example, new research is constantly showing us how children's brains work. Keeping current on the latest research will give you new ideas for addressing your child's unique needs. You can only begin to form a strategy if you take time to activate your mind. Stop hurrying from task to task and give yourself some downtime to think. When we stop and allow our minds to wander, we discover new connections and ideas. If it helps, combine thinking time with exercise. You're more likely to engage your mind when you occupy your body. If you have the goal of going on a European vacation next year but are still determining where the funds will come from, take some time to let your mind wander creatively. Consider out-of-the-box ways to earn extra money in your spare time that could go directly into the vacation fund. It would help to focus on multiple details when you're a strategic thinker. You want to see the overall goal and the details of how you will get there. By bringing in the practice of trying to see both sides of the equation, you encourage your brain to think more wholly rather than in parts. When considering your retirement, for instance, look at a wide range of investment types, life insurance, and other savings opportunities. Relying only on your savings isn't necessarily a strategic way of building a safe financial future. The connections you make in strategic thinking can only come if you have plenty of raw material. Let's face it, you can only make connections if you know what to connect an idea to in the first place. This is why it's essential to look for ways to expand your mind continually. Take classes, go places, and experience culture. When you think strategically, you look for more than one point of view, yours. How would an engineer tackle your project? Or your mother? Ask for other opinions. Depending on your goal, you might only need to brainstorm over coffee with friends. Piggybacking on the last tip, imagine if everyone in your innermost circle were skilled in strategic thinking. By encouraging those around you to practice their skills in this area, you create a brainstorming group that packs quite a punch, especially if your group of friends comes from various experiences and backgrounds. To be a strategic thinker, you need to implement your plans. You need to make decisions and then stand by them. This can be particularly challenging for many people, especially when they start doubting themselves. Remember, when you think things through strategically, you've got the best chance of success with your goal or project. You've gathered the data, asked intelligent questions, considered your bias and assumptions, and brought the recommendations of people who see the issue differently. It's time to take that plan for a test drive and have faith in yourself. If something unexpected pops up, you know how to go back and reevaluate to go forward confidently. One of the biggest threats to strategic thinking is in the details. We get caught up on the little mundane tasks of the day to the point where we're no longer working on the plan. Once you have the details figured out, step back and look at the big picture. How do those fine points work together to make it all happen? When we step back, we can see new connections and keep focused on what we want to create. Where are you right now, really? The strategic thinker knows how to run a quick check, like taking inventory, to see where they are in the grand scheme. Think of it like you would a computer running a diagnostic. This quick look examines the progress you've made. It asks where you are in the process and whether you're still moving toward your goal. This kind of check-in should be done honestly or serves no purpose. Strategic thinkers don't try to fool themselves into believing only what they want to see. If you're not accomplishing things or falling behind, you need to know how to fix the problem. Make this internal question and answer session a part of your weekly routine until it becomes automatic. When a strategic thinker listens to what someone else has to say, they adapt to new information and accept that they don't know everything. Listening opens the world up and helps you to gain a perspective you might not otherwise have. This helps create plans for future action and refine your goals. How to begin? Start by making it a practice to spend more time listening in conversation than speaking. When practicing strategic thinking, there are specific questions you need to get in the habit of asking. These include, does this idea make sense? Does it come from a solid and reliable source? What are the options? Are any of those based on preconceived notions or other biases? Is there proof to support this idea and the possibilities? By asking these questions more frequently, you get in the habit of evaluating everything with a more strategic mindset. Anytime you want to use strategic thinking more often, you're dealing with making decisions and carrying out plans to completion. Understanding cause and effect is incredibly important to make more informed choices. Cause and effect thinking looks at any situation and asks you to theorize what happens if you create a particular choice and whether this outcome is favorable. Thinking through every decision you make with cause and effect in mind helps you take your thinking to the next level and serves you well regardless of what question you're applying this methodology to. Visualizing the end goal in as much detail as possible aids in your efforts toward strategic thinking by helping to clarify your objectives. Picture various forms of the future. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? In 10? Revisit this vision often and evaluate whether you see yourself on the same path. By its very nature, strategic thinking feels a little like playing it safe. But never mistake planning for staying on the beaten path. True strategic thinking involves finding new ways to get where you want to go most efficiently. With this in mind, don't shy away from taking risks. Not a risk taker? Start by trying new things, even in small ways, to accustom yourself to the idea that different can also be good. When things don't go your way, are you more likely to go down with the ship or willing to jump overboard and risk swimming for shore? Rather than get so caught up in your strategic plan, you need to be able to adapt when the situation changes. To become more adaptable, practice rolling with the punches. Ask yourself, what's plan B? When things don't look like they're going your way. Remember, strategic thinking looks for solutions, not stopping points. Sometimes, the best way we learn anything ourselves is to teach it to someone else. By showing someone else how to think strategically, you acquire the process in a new, more intimate way, making you much more familiar with the tactics involved. Strategic thinking requires creativity when it comes to the execution of your plans. Taking time for creative pursuits puts your mind into an open mindset and helps you find out-of-the-box solutions when needed. You don't need to be an artist to be creative. Start with doodling or adult coloring if you require an artist's tendency. Rather than only practicing strategic thinking in one aspect of your life, put it to work everywhere. When you immerse yourself completely in a new way of thinking, you learn it much faster than using it only in one. Since you've already seen just how useful it is regardless of the type of goal you're pursuing, there's no reason not to incorporate it into all aspects of your life. How is a plan going to turn out? A practice run might be in order. Look at your goal and the strategy you've developed to get there. Now, pretend you've been carrying out this goal. How does it feel? Are there factors you never considered? Or are things coming together in the way you think they ought to? Playing it out, especially if you enlist others to help, might allow you to see where you've left gaps in your planning. How has someone else realized the same or similar goal to yours? We shape our strategic thinking skills by examining how other people have applied those skills to their problems. Case studies give you the luxury of seeing the step-by-step of what happened, alongside the results, so that you can get some practice in understanding cause and effect. Integrating strategic thinking is very simple when you become more intentional about your thinking. Stopping to take a moment to ask the questions, to think through the consequences, and to build your plan will, in fact, very quickly feel like second nature if you only give it a chance. Strategic thinking is nothing more than a mindset shift. By changing how you look at things and making an intelligent decision about the direction you want to go, you can use strategic thinking to take control of every aspect of your life. With strategic thinking in your arsenal, you'll do much less reacting. Instead, you'll be planning, thinking, and doing what matters most to you, and your life will run much more smoothly. You examine the options, see solutions others don't, and anticipate your next wise move. You'll accomplish more, feel more robust, and be less stressed. You'll be working to your strengths and learning to leave behind the things that no longer serve you. You will find yourself using these skills to change the outcome of your life. It all begins with a hard look at where you are and a desire to become more, accomplish things, or achieve something so grand you might have thought impossible. Strategic thinking changes your world. Isn't it time you began? There you have it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel for more insights into enhancing your life through strategic thinking.